Hey buddies, good to see you. Glad you came to join me today for another weird blues tale. Hi, I'm so glad you could join me. I really appreciate you helping me and watching these and hope you enjoy them. Today on Weird Blues Tales, I believe we're on episode 12. Could be wrong. I think that's it. I got a short paranormal one for you today that I hope you enjoy. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. I had some technical difficulties. Imagine that. Anyway, today I'm going to be telling you a story about one of the things that happened to me at the Commerce City house. I told you that in an episode called Child in a Haunted House, about that house. It was in Commerce City. In the backyard, behind the backyard was a field. Next to the field was a railroad track. On the other side of that was a small highway. And on the other side of the highway is the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, where they used to store all their banned weapons like sarin gas and whatnot. It's huge. They removed all the poisons, I believe, at this point in time, and weapons of mass destruction. And now it's a wildlife refuge. So it's a park. You can go down there and visit the wildlife and whatnot. But when I lived there way back, they were storing sarin gas and other poisons and stuff there. And it's a huge place. So when I was about 5 years old, we were all hanging out in the kitchen. And what I mean by all was my mom and this guy named Jerry. My parents used to take in some of the young men in the neighborhood who were having troubles, and they would let them stay in the basement and do odd jobs around the house and whatnot, and then they would help them find real jobs and get on their feet. But at this point in time, Jerry was staying at the house. We were all in the kitchen. It was late at night. It was probably about 8 o'clock. I think my dad was back in the den watching TV or something. And my little brother was probably only about 2 or 3 years old. He was in his crib. So me and my mom and Jerry were in the kitchen. My mom's washing dishes. Jerry's just kind of leaning against the wall listening to the radio. Radio was in front of me. I was sitting at the kitchen table by the window. The radio was in the window sill, and you could pretty much see there was a good view. It was a big window. Anyway, we're there, we're grooving to the radio, which was kind of a common thing, and just chilling. Like I said, my mom was washing dishes, and all of a sudden, the lights went out in the house, and the radio was still playing. And I looked out the window, and the lights in the backyards of the houses I could see, they went out. But the radio was still playing. I looked out on the highway, and there was like one car. You could see one car light coming down the road, and it passed. And then the arsenal used to be kind of lit up, but all of a sudden it kind of went dark except for a weird orange light, orange pinkish light. This orange pinkish light occurred many times in my life before or during paranormal experiences that involved usually UFOs. But at this time, we're sitting in the dark. Well, Jerry's standing there. My mom's standing behind me with the dishes. When the lights went off, she turned around. The radio's still playing, and then all of a sudden the radio goes off. And then we're all just in the dark, like we're paralyzed. We didn't move. We didn't talk. I mean, I'm looking out the window and I'm trying to think, like what's going on. I'm 5 years old, and I'm wondering. I'm looking out there. There's no cars on the highway. The only light out is the kind of orangish, pinkish glow coming way back far into the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. And nothing is going on. We're just kind of frozen. We're not talking. The radio's off. It's dark. And we're there, just sort of paralyzed. And we stayed that way for probably a couple hours. And wow. And it's silence. And yeah, it was just like, we're all in the dark, like frozen. Jerry's still up against the wall. My mom's standing behind me with like a dish in her hand, kind of halfway frozen in the middle of, washing a dish. I'm sitting at the table, and we're in the dark. There's no noise. There's nothing. Then all of a sudden, here comes another car light down the highway. And this was after like a couple hours. And it goes past, and the radio comes back on. And so we got that going, right? And then I started seeing a couple of back porch lights on some of the neighbors' houses. The radio's playing, we're still in the dark. And then our lights came on, I think. To be honest with you, I don't remember. I don't remember going to bed. I just remember the radio coming on. A few lights as the neighbors came on. And that one car went by. And then the regular lights at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal came on. And the next thing I knew, I was in my bed. And I'm just thinking about this. I mean, I'm a 5-year-old kid. I've been seeing those heads come floating out of the closet for a couple years. So, I mean, I'm kind of used to weird stuff. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even know what to think about this. This was just like really super bizarre. But I don't know if you'd call it missing time or what. But yeah, it was weird. And about a week or so after that, I was going to allegedly the hardware store with my dad, and we went, but my memories of the hardware store were really weird. I mean, they were all fragmented and like it was almost a dream. And then we're on our way home. My dad had this old truck he was fixing up, this old pickup. And all of a sudden, all these black clouds came in. This was during the day, but all of a sudden, these black clouds came in. And it was the darkest, blackest clouds I've ever seen. And it started raining. And we got home, and it's like just strange. I had this really weird feeling. And then I remember being in this weird hardware store. And it was just strange. A few years later, I was at my grandma's house, and at the end of her road, she lived right next to the river. And at that time, part of the street in front of her house was paved and part of it was dirt. And a couple blocks down, the dirt road kind of ended at this big field that used to be the dump. But the city had closed it off, and every once in a while, every year or two, they would rent it out to a carnival or a circus or something. And at this point in time, they had rented it out to a circus. And so me and my aunt, one of my aunt's friends, got permission from my grandparents to go walk down the road and go see the circus. So we went down there, and it was like a, great big giant tent and everything you expect with a small circus. And even though we had money to get in, I thought I would try to sneak in, and I went, crawled under the tent, but I couldn't see anything or do anything. So we ended up going in the circus, and we saw it, and it was great. And, we were supposed to be home like, before midnight. This was probably about 9 o'clock at night when we went. And on our way back home, the three of us are walking, and all of a sudden, in front of this abandoned house, there was like this weird building that was sort of like a tower, about maybe 15 by 15 feet and 3 stories. And there were clowns there. But the clowns weren't talking, they were miming, and they were trying to get us to come in this little 3-story tower. And we didn't know what to say, we didn't know what to do, they were kind of freaking me out. I didn't know what to do, and we're just watching them, and it was just kind of strange. And then the next thing I know, we're walking home. We get home, it's after midnight. We're in trouble. They're accusing us of, where you guys been? We've been worried about you, They sent somebody walking down to the circus. They didn't see us on the road. Well, we didn't go anywhere except the road and the tower with the clowns. And so that was like some missing time there, and I never did figure that one out. So that's all I got for you today. I know it's kind of short, but I gave you like 2 bizarre stories of kind of missing time. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would watch these and comment and tell me what you like best. Do you like the paranormal ones? Do you like the war stories? Do you like the weird medical stuff? Please tell me what you prefer. My views have been getting lower instead of higher. Got some good views on Noah's Ark and the 1933 Chevy Eagle, but I've been getting lower views, and I'm doing this mostly for posterity and the rest of my Greek friends, but I really, really appreciate when you guys watch, and if you would comment and tell me what you like best, and give me a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because I could use that. And yeah, I love you all much. I know this is a short one, but I really wanted to get something out to you because I miss y'all. And I hope you enjoy this. And please share if you can. I know they're weird, but I really appreciate you being here, and I love y'all. And please come back for the next one. I'm going to try to do them more often. I know I keep saying that, but things keep happening. I mean, imagine that. But thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time on Weird Blues Tales. Have a great summer, and hopefully I'll be talking to you in a week or two, and I'll give you a little bit longer one. But again, please tell me in the comments which stories you like the best. The paranormal, the war stories that are kind of violent. Well, they were violent. And then the medical weird stuff, because I've got all three and whatnot. So please come back and see me. Please share this if you can. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate your views and your support. So have a good one. Love each other. Be kind to each other, especially in these weird times. And I'll see you next time on Weird Blues Tales. Thank you.